I feel like my path, I feel like I had so much rejection in my life for a reason so that I could end up like where I am, kind of like fighting for free speech and kind of like, you know, fighting for the underdog or whatever. So if I had gotten a mainstream kind of like Hollywood path, I think I don't know, I would have had more conflict, I think, because then you
would
have
have had
more
more
like,
conflict.
I'm going to leave all this money to do what is right. Like for me,
Well,
it just
and
never,
then
yeah,
you're going to get scrutinized too, to a point where like I keep seeing it happen to so many any famous person where like some weird old tweet is dug up from like 10 years ago and it's just like a stupid joke,
yeah.
like something so ridiculous that and suddenly they're canceled over it and you're like, hold on a second. Now we're canceling people for old jokes. Like nobody, that's going to be everyone. That's going to be literally everyone. I just don't understand that. So you would have to then go through all of that. Like now I feel like you're out there and you're owning it and you're like, no, fuck you. Which you've already started out that together. Way. Yeah.
A couple years ago, I went through my old tweets, I think, because I was like, let me see if I have anything. And I had just like half ideas, like half jokes. It wasn't, you know, it might have been a couple like things that were racist, but they made me laugh. And I'm like, okay, these aren't great jokes. So I deleted them for that reason. But now it's like, if somebody were to dig up something, I would double down. I would be like, no, like that was very, you know what I mean? I just wouldn't, I have no respect for these guys who are like, just turning their backs on their former work or their former jokes and being like, oh no, it's like, fuck you, you're successful.
Like Seth Rogen.
Oh yeah, all of them.
I used to love him, but I've lost so much respect for him and his dumb shit that he keeps saying. I'm like, really? Yeah. And like, I don't really talk about politics and I don't really get into it very much because it's not my thing. I've never been into it. But I've always considered myself a fairly liberal person, or at least thought I always have been. But and I guess I lean one way or the other, depending, I guess, on the issue sometimes, whatever it is.
You're like a normal person. You're just
like if it, whatever,
you're not
I'm
like
okay.
far. Yeah. You're not about to like tip over a statue.
Yeah, exactly. I don't get really crazy either way, depending on what it is. But I have so much respect for people like Dave Chappelle, that because free speech is one of the most important things that we have here in this country. Like anybody that bullets hate speech, it doesn't matter. Even if it is hate speech and someone's legitimately being a hateful fucking asshole, you can still look at him and be like, oh, that guy's a fucking dick. But he should still be able to say it. And I hate people being like, well, free speech isn't
they're confusing it for hate speech now.
To a point, but it's like, but they still need to be able to say those things. And don't you want those people out there in the open? I don't know. I do.
Right.
Like, don't you want to know who they are? And it doesn't mean that, and then you have to be careful because there's a line, right? So you're like, okay, well, this is hate speech. They should have consequences. Like, but what's the consequence? They don't get a life. Like they lose their entire livelihood. Work. They're going to die. Yeah. Like what? And then that line gets blurrier and blurrier because it's like, well, what constitutes hate speech? Someone who doesn't have any hate in their heart and just makes a silly joke that you deem offensive. You can offend anybody with anything. So it's going to get to a weird point where it's, what is it? Is it Demolition Man in the future where like you can't swear? Yeah. We're going to get to a fucking weird point where it's like that. So anybody who's like, well, you know, freedom of speech doesn't mean hate speech. Yes, it does. It means everything.
Yeah.
Like you might not like it, but that's what it is.
True. I get offended at some of these like far leftist comics because I'm offended at how far from comedy like their performances are. But am I going to stop them from like getting their bag, from getting work? Am I going to call up venues and try to have them? No, I don't have time for that. Like I'm focusing on my own success.
Yeah.
It's crazy that people spend their time doing that.